Make this super simple garland just using some scrap fabric and a little bit of wool felt. I'm Charlotte from Flower Child and I'm going to show you how. You'll need some scraps of fabric, some wool felt, a star cookie cutter, some pearl thread or twine, some sparkly thread, a pencil, pins, a needle, some pinking shears or scallop shears and an iron. And also you're going to need this paper. So this is Bondaweb paper and you can draw on it as I'm doing here, and it sets with heat on both sides. Using your cookie cutter, draw as many shapes as you can squeeze on to your Bondaweb paper. Taking your fabric, make sure that you give it a good iron. You can cut the stars out individually and use scraps if you like, but I'm going to put this down in one big strip on this piece of fabric that I have. Roughly cut round the paper so you're not wasting any fabric and you haven't stuck anything you don't really need to. Place that on and then using your iron, set it with heat. Just smooth over so you are pressing rather than ironing to make sure that everything is glued down, especially around the edges. Roughly cut out around the paper and then roughly cut round the stars just so that it's easier for you to cut a bit closer in a minute. Once you've got your pile of stars, take some sharper, smaller scissors and then trim around the pencil shape. What you want to do is make sure that you keep your scissors fairly still but move the fabric so you can get into those tight corners and around those points. And there you have your star. Keep working, cutting those out, and then you'll have a lovely collection. Taking your wool felt, just prise the backing of one of the stars off with a pin to get you started, and then gently just ease it off so that you don't cause any fraying. Place your star onto the wool felt, making sure you've left a bit of a border around it. Using the iron, press the star onto the wool felt until it adheres. Do this with all of the stars until you have a little collection, and then roughly cut them out. Taking some thread of your choice, I'm using some embroidery thread here in gold. What you want to do is stitch around the inside of the star. When you're using Bondaweb or something like that, it's not enough to hold things in place permanently, so I always like to stitch over it as well. You can do a running stitch, a whip stitch, a blanket stitch, is entirely up to you. Because this is a decoration and not under stress, it doesn't really matter which stitch you do. Secure at the back. And then what I've done is I've taken the threads and I'm just slipping them between the felt and the fabric to make sure that end is inside. Just snip your threads off and all your sewing is complete. Repeat this process for all of your stars. Give it a little press and then using your pinking shears or scallop shears, just do it by eye, create a little border. Be careful how you're cutting to make sure that the pinking continues as you go, placing the little triangles. Once you've done that, then repeat for all of the stars. Grab your pearl thread and cut a nice long length, the length you want for your garland. Thread this into a wide-eyed needle and then you are just stitching through the top of the felt to string up the stars onto the garland. Repeat this with all of the stars. Then tie a little loop at the end of the thread so that you can hang it up, and do that on both ends. And then you can just arrange your stars how you want them and space them out evenly. And there you have your garlands. You can make them as long as you like, you can use different scraps of fabric, it's entirely up to you. Don't forget though that they're not suitable for a nursery or a child's room for safety reasons. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for more.